E-Classroom, sponsored by Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, Tripura Rajya Mission.
মাধ্যমিক স্তরের শিক্ষার গুণগত মানকে সুনিশ্চিত করার লক্ষ্যে রাষ্ট্রীয় মাধ্যমিক শিক্ষা অভিযান ত্রিপুরা রাজ্য মিশন কর্মরত মাধ্যমিক স্তরের শিক্ষক ও বিদ্যালয় প্রধানদের প্রশিক্ষণ, বিজ্ঞান শিক্ষণ সামগ্রী প্রদান, ছাত্রীদের আত্মরক্ষামূলক প্রশিক্ষণ, মেধায় পিছিয়ে পড়া ছাত্রছাত্রীদের বিশেষ শিক্ষাদান, প্রতিবন্ধীদের জন্য অনুদান, রাজ্যে কলা উৎসব আয়োজন সহ অন্যান্য কর্মসূচি রূপায়ণ করছে।
জানেন কি বিদ্যালয় ছুট সারা দেশের একটি জ্বলন্ত সমস্যা? এই সমস্যা সমাধানে রাষ্ট্রীয় মাধ্যমিক শিক্ষা অভিযানের উদ্যোগে আগামী 1 জানুয়ারি থেকে সপ্তাহব্যাপী বিদ্যালয় ফিরে চলো কর্মসূচি গ্রহণ করা হয়েছে। 14 থেকে 16 বছর বয়সী সমস্ত ছেলে মেয়েদের মাধ্যমিক শিক্ষা সম্পূর্ণ করার জন্য আপনারা সবাই এগিয়ে আসুন।
মাঝপথে যারা লেখাপড়া ছেড়ে দিয়েছো বন্ধুরা, তোমরা বিদ্যালয়ে আবার ফিরে এসো।
রাষ্ট্রীয় মাধ্যমিক শিক্ষা অভিযান।
Hello students.
Hello ma'am.
Please sit down. I hope you all are fine.
Yes ma'am.
Okay, good. Now everyone look at the blackboard. As you all can see, it's a flower, but it doesn't look complete. Can anyone tell me why does it not look complete? Okay, you tell.
Because one of the petal is not shaded.
Very good. Right answer. Please sit down. One of the petal is blank. It is not shaded. That's why it is not complete. It doesn't look complete. Okay. So what can you do to make it look complete? Can anyone tell me? Okay, you stand up.
We will fill the petal with shade.
Very good answer. Please sit down. We have to fill the blank petal with shade so that we can make it complete. Is that clear?
Yes ma'am.
Look at the blackboard, students. This is an incomplete sentence. Why? Can anyone tell me why? Okay, you stand up.
Ma'am, we will fill the blank.
Okay, sit down. You have to, please sit down. You have to fill the blank to make it complete. But I asked why it is incomplete. Because there is a gap part. There is a blank. You have to fill that blank part with the correct word or words so that the sentence is grammatically correct. Okay, today we are going to discuss and practice about gap filling. So the correct word here is. Now, why we have used here is, not has, have or any other? Because there is a rule that I'm going to discuss in this class. Gap filling. You see on the screen, it's an exercise in which a gap has to be filled by 1 or 2 words that fall into a particular category. That is our gap filling. Okay, so gap filling is an exercise in which you will be given a gap that has to be filled by 1 or 2 words, okay, that fall into particular category. That word that you will select for that gap part, it should be grammatically correct. So example, you see, I dash sleep now. The right word or the correct word here is I will sleep now. This is grammatically correct and it is our example of gap filling. There are certain topics that are tested while practicing gap filling. What are those? Number 1, articles. Number 2, prepositions. And number 3, correct form of verb. In this part, the last one, correct form of verb, again certain topics are tested. What are those? Tense, subject verb, agreement, etc.
What is tense?
Okay, very good question. Please be seated. I will tell you what is tense. In today's class, we will discuss and we will practice about correct tense forms of verb. So, you have to know about you will know about the rules, how to fill the gap.
Ma'am,
Okay.
what is a verb?
Okay, I'll tell you one by one. Please be seated. Now, what is tense? Let me first tell her the answer. Okay, you all listen carefully. What is tense? A tense is a grammatical category. You can say a form of a verb that expresses or shows the time it happened. That is called tense. Okay? So, tense means it is a form of verb. It is the time when the action is happened. Got it? That is called tense. Now, what is verb? A verb is one of the most important parts of a sentence. It expresses an action, an occurrence, or a state of being. Got it? Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you have already known about verb. You must also know about conjugation of verbs. What is that? What is conjugation of verb? Conjugation of verb means changing verbs into different forms. Is that clear? Changing verbs into different forms. So, here I am going to show you 3 verb forms. Verb 1, which is also called as simple present form of verb. Verb 2, which is also called as past form of simple past form of verb, and verb 3, that is past participle form of verb. For instance, I have taken here go as root verb. Go as root verb. Now, verb form 1 of go will be go, or you have to add es because verb 1 is simple present form of verb. In simple present form of verb, you have to add s or es with verb. Is that clear? That's why I have here written es in the bracket. Verb form 2. Verb form 2 of go. Root verb go. It is went. And the last one, past participle form, that is verb 3 of go is gone. So this is called verb conjugation or changing verbs into different forms. So we have got 3 forms, verb 1, verb 2 and verb 3. Why have I discussed conjugation of verbs? Because to know about correct forms of verbs based on tense, you must know about all these. You must know about verb, you must know about conjugation of verbs. Is that clear, students?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can anyone tell me the conjugation of do, the verb do? Okay, you stand up.
Ma'am, do, did, done.
Very good. It is the correct answer. Sit down. So now, let us discuss about types of tense. Because to know about rules for filling gaps with correct tense or form of verb, you have to know how many types of tenses are there. Okay? So, in English, there are main 3 tenses. The present tense, the past tense and the future tense. All these 3 types of tenses are again subdivided into 4 types. The simple, the continuous, the perfect and the perfect continuous tenses. Okay, so there are basic 12 tenses in English, each with different structures and different time references. In this class, I have taken all the structures of all those 12 tenses. Okay, the structures of all those 12 tenses as a rule in a very simple way for your better understanding. If you know the rules, it will be easy for you to practice gap filling. Now let us discuss rules. Our number rule is, you see, the heading is simple present, simple past and simple future tense. In this rule number 1, structures of 3 tenses, as you can read in the heading, you see. How many tenses are written there? 3. Simple present, simple past and simple future tense. So structures of 3 tenses are taken as a rule. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now, the first one, simple present tense. What is that? Simple present tense, it expresses an action that occurs in the present time. It is a fact. You can say it is a fact or a habit. Structure is, you see, inside the bracket, third bracket, subject plus verb 1. Subject plus verb 1. That is the structure of simple present tense. Is that clear? Okay. Now, example you see. The first example, my grandmother needs a sweater. Okay? My grandmother needs a sweater. My grandmother is your subject. You just match the example with the structure given inside that bracket. Subject is my grandmother and the verb 1 form is needs. Need is the root verb. Okay? Need is the root verb. And with this root verb, you have added as. Why? Because my grandmother is a third person singular number. That's why you have to add as with verb here. So my grandmother needs a sweater. A sweater is object. Okay. So our the main structure is subject plus verb 1. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now, simple past tense. What is that? Simple past tense expresses an activity or action that occurred or happened in the past. In the past. The structure is subject plus verb 2. Subject plus verb 2. Now match the example with the structure. My grandmother, again subject. Needed is the verb 2 form of need. Need is the root verb. Need is the root verb. And the verb 2 form of need is needed. Okay. So my grandmother needed a sweater. That is subject plus verb 2. That is the structure of simple past tense. Everyone, is that clear?
Yes.
পুষ্টিকর খাদ্য এবং শিক্ষা আমাদের নিতান্ত প্রয়োজনীয় জিনিস।
আপনি কি জানেন বর্তমানে ত্রিপুরায় বিদ্যালয় শিক্ষা দপ্তরের অধীনে মধ্যাহ্ন আহার প্রকল্পের উদ্যোগে সবকটি বিদ্যালয়ে সবজি বাগান গড়ে তোলা হচ্ছে।
ছাত্রছাত্রীদের পুষ্টিকর খাদ্য প্রদান করার লক্ষ্যে সেই বাগানে উৎপাদিত সার এবং কীটনাশকবিহীন সবজি প্রথম থেকে অষ্টম শ্রেণীর শিক্ষার্থীদের মিড ডে মিলে ব্যবহার করা হয়।
চলুন শিক্ষার্থীদের স্বাস্থ্যকর এবং নির্ভেজাল খাদ্য প্রদান ও সুস্থ সমাজ গড়ার লক্ষ্যে আমরা সবাই এগিয়ে আসি এবং প্রত্যেকটি বিদ্যালয়ে সবজি বাগান গড়ে তুলতে বিদ্যালয় কর্তৃপক্ষকে সাহায্য করি।
Now, simple future tense. What is that? Simple future tense expresses an activity or action that will happen or occur in the future. Structure is subject plus shall or will. Shall or will plus root verb. This is the structure of simple future tense. Okay? I'm repeating again. You see on the screen, subject plus shall or will plus root verb. Now you match with the example. My grandmother is the subject. We have used will, okay? Because here the third person, the subject is my grandmother. With that we have to use will. Let me tell you, shall is used with the pronoun subject I, okay? I, we, and I and we. I shall, we shall, okay? That means shall is used with first person pronoun. With second person and third person, we have to use will. My grandmother is third person, singular number, okay? So you are using will, and need is the root verb. You just match with the structure. My grandmother is subject, and shall or will, that means we have taken will because it is third person. Is that clear? Then root verb is need. So in this rule 1, you have structures of 3 tenses: simple present tense, simple past tense, and simple future tense. Okay? Structures are there, examples are there. Do you have any confusion in this rule? No. Okay, then look at the blackboard. What have I written here? Rima, there is one dash, gap, and inside bracket you have 2 options, sing and sings. Now which is the correct option for the sentence? To make this sentence complete or to fill the gap, we have to choose any one of these 2 options. Can anyone tell me which is the correct option?
Sings.
Very
Rima
good.
sings.
Very good. Please be seated. It is very correct answer. Rima, third person singular number. Okay? With that, we have to use S with the verb form. Third person singular number. No, I already told you. Let us go to next rule. Rule number 2. In this rule also, we have structures of 3 tenses. Okay? We have structures of 3 tenses. What are those? Present continuous tense, past continuous tense, future continuous tense. Now what is present continuous tense? Let me tell you first. Continuous. Okay? The very word continuous, it means progressive. An action is in continuing form. Okay. So, present continuous tense means it expresses an action or activity, the action which is progressive in present time, happening right now. Structure is subject plus, see, inside the first bracket you have 3 auxiliary verb or helping verbs. What are these? Am, is, or are. Am, is, are. These are the auxiliary verbs used in present continuous tense. And these am, is, are, they are used in aspect of person, number. Okay? That means am is used with I. First person singular number. I is first person singular number. So with that we have to use am. That is in our rule. Is also used in present continuous tense, but it is used with third person singular number. Third person singular number. He, she, it, or any name. So are are is also used in present continuous form tense. It is used with first person plural number, that is we. Okay, then they, you. There is third person plural number. You is both second person singular and plural number. So are is used with they, we, you. So the structure of present continuous tense is subject plus am is are plus root verb plus ing. The example is given here. My grandmother is knitting a sweater. My grandmother is subject, is auxiliary verb, and knit is the root verb. You have to add ing. It was knitting. Okay, this is the example of present continuous tense. Now the second one, structure of second tense, that means past continuous tense. What is that? It is an activity that expresses, it is that tense which expresses an activity, okay, that went on at particular point in the past. The structure is subject plus was and were. That means was or were. You have to use was or were according to the subject. Then root verb plus ing. The example is my grandmother was knitting a sweater. My grandmother is subject, was is the auxiliary verb, and knit is the root verb. You have to add ing. That means knitting a sweater. Last one, the structure of future continuous tense. Subject plus shall be, will be plus root verb plus ing. This is the structure of simple continuous tense, and the tense expresses an activity that will go on in the future. Okay, example you see, my grandmother will be knitting a sweater. My grandmother is the subject, will be is there in our rule, then root verb plus ing. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any confusion in this part?
No, ma'am.
Then look at the blackboard. Rima sings. Can anyone convert this sentence into past continuous tense? Okay, stand up.
Rima was singing.
Very good. It is a correct answer. Please be seated. Rima was singing. This is the past continuous form of Rima sings. Okay, let us go to next rule. Rule number 3. In this rule again, we have structures of 3 tenses, that is present perfect tense, past perfect tense, and future perfect tense. Okay? Now, what is present perfect tense? Present perfect tense, it describes an activity which started in the past but has present consequences. Structure is subject plus has or have plus verb 3. Very simple structure. Subject plus has or have plus verb 3. Has and have. This will be used according to the subject. Okay? According to the subject. Now the example is, my grandmother has knitted a sweater. You match the structure with this example. My grandmother is the subject. Has, you have to use with third person singular number. Then knitted is the verb 3 form of root verb knit. Okay. Now the next one is past perfect tense. It is a tense that expresses a completed action or activity, okay, that was finished at a particular time in the past before another activity. Example, my grandmother had knitted a sweater, and the structure you see, subject plus had plus verb 3. You see, my grandmother is the subject, had you have to use, okay, in past perfect tense form. Then knitted is the verb 3 form of root verb knit. Now the last one is future perfect tense. What is that? It is a tense that expresses an activity that will be finished, that will be completed at a particular point in the future. Structure is subject plus shall have or will have plus verb 3. That is the structure of future perfect tense. Example you see, you match the structure with example. My grandmother is subject here. Okay, we have used, that is in our rule. Then knit is a root verb and verb 3 form of knit is knitted. That's why you have used here knitted. My grandmother will have knitted a sweater. Is that clear? Do you have any confusion in this rule? No. Then look at the blackboard again. Rima will have dash. You have two options, sing or sung. Can anyone answer me?
Rima will have sung.
Very good. This is future perfect tense. Okay, please. Let us go to next rule. Rule number 4. Present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense and future perfect continuous tense. Okay? Now present perfect continuous structure is subject plus has been or have been plus root verb plus ing. Okay? Example you see, my grandmother has been knitting a sweater for 2 months. That is the example of present perfect continuous tense. You match the structure with this example. My grandmother is subject. We have used has been and root verb plus ing. Okay? Now, next, past perfect continuous tense. The structure is subject plus had been plus root verb plus ing. You see the example, my grandmother had been knitting a sweater for 2 months. You match the example with the structure. The last one is future perfect continuous tense. The structure is subject plus shall have been or will have been plus root verb plus ing. Example is my grandmother will have been knitting a sweater for 2 months. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There are some more rules which you can obtain from your grammar book and other available study materials from your school library. And see, there are few exercises on gap filling. You just note this down. Okay. You do it and you practice these exercises and other exercises at home, and you go through all the rules at home what we have discussed today. Okay, in our next class we will discuss more rules about correct forms of verb based on tense.
Thank you, ma'am.
ড্রপ আউটের ঘুচিয়ে ক্ষত, স্কুলে পড়ুয়ার বাড়ছে ভিড়, সর্বশিক্ষা মিড ডে মিলে স্কুল সকলের আশার নীড়।
রাজ্যের 6 থেকে 14 বছরের সব শিশুদের বিদ্যালয়ের আঙিনায় এনে তাদের বুনিয়াদী শিক্ষা সুনিশ্চিত করতে সর্বশিক্ষা অভিযান বদ্ধপরিকর। তাদের শিক্ষা সুবিধার জন্য রয়েছে বিনামূল্যে পাঠ্য বই, বিদ্যালয়ের পোশাক, উন্নত মানের পড়াশোনা, স্বাস্থ্যসম্মত শৌচাগার, বিশুদ্ধ পানীয় জল, পুষ্টিকর মধ্যাহ্ন আহার, খেলাধুলার ব্যবস্থা এবং আরো অনেক কিছু।
হ্যাঁ, তাই দেরি না করে আজই আপনার এলাকার সব শিশুদের নিকটবর্তী সরকারি বিদ্যালয়ে ভর্তি হতে উৎসাহিত করুন।
E-Classroom was sponsored by Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, Tripura Rajya Mission.